I've already saved businesses across industries over $1 million in costs by using AI the right way. And one way of doing that is to be able to scale Make.com automations without actually increasing your costs. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can scale your Make.com automations without hitting your account limits and being able to automate a lot more while spending a lot less. And by the way, all of this video will be around email automations. So if you have a lot of email automations in your Make.com, make sure to watch all the way until the end because you will receive a really nice bonus at the end. So first things first, when you hit your Make.com account's limit, you can do one of three things. Thing number one is that you can either upgrade your account or actually buy more credits. That means you're spending a little bit more money. Number two is that you can pause automations that are already running or completely delete them from what they're doing in the background. And number three is rework the automations so they're running a lot more efficiently and you're spending less in operations when you run these automations. And that's the one that we're going to be focusing on for this video. How do you actually make your automations more efficient in a context of email? But before we jump over to the platform and talk about the tactical things that you can do to actually make your automations more efficient, make your scenarios more efficient, why don't we talk a little bit about the symptom that we're looking at. If you are using Make.com and you are unsatisfied with the amount of money that you're spending on the platform, this could be a ROI problem. You're not seeing the return on your investment with Make.com, and this could be an indication of picking the wrong projects. There's so many different things that you could do with Make.com and so many different ways that you could implement AI. And one of the things that I actually hammer on with a lot of the clients that I work with, actually with all of the clients that I work with, is picking the right projects to begin with. You need to actually find the ones that are going to yield the most results for your business. So if you're not seeing the ROI with a cheap platform, there is a consideration on the amount of projects that you're picking and also the types of projects that you're picking. So I just wanted to leave that note over here and let you guys know that there will be a video linked on the card over here or over there. I actually don't know what side it is, showing you guys the way you should be prioritizing the projects in your business. And I also do AI audits completely for free within a business, which is just when we come into a business and figure out all of the processes that happen inside and find the highest leverage points to implement AI on. And that's completely for free. So if you are interested in doing that, just go ahead in the first link in the description below and book a call with me and we'll chat about that. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the types of workflows that we're going to be focusing on over here. And these are going to be Gmail workflows. And we're going to be talking about how to actually trigger your workflows only when you need to, only when you actually receive an email that is relevant for that specific scenario. Let's start this off by covering the problem. Well, the problem is that the Gmail module here in Make.com, even with V4 or V2, which are the two versions that we've had of Gmail over here in Make, we don't have an instant trigger to watch emails, meaning that our scenario only runs when we actually receive an email. And that creates a lot of different operations. So for example, regardless if you're using V4 or V2 over here, you're probably using a watch email scenario to trigger what's going on in your Gmail account. Now, if you have a scenario that starts with a trigger that looks like this, a watch emails trigger, you probably have a trigger running at every minute. And the thing is, if you can receive emails at any given moment and you want to be able to reply to those emails or deal with those emails, maybe attach a label, forward it to someone, or do whatever you want in your business, you probably are going to have this trigger running at every minute. And that means that in a given month, you're going to have 43,000 operations running at any given moment. And that means 43,000 on the low end, meaning that you're not getting any emails and you don't have any other automations running in the background. And in terms of pricing, what does that actually look like? Well, when we look at Make.com over here for 80,000 credits, because I'm going to assume you have other operations and other automations running in the background, you're going to be spending at least $64 here by paying monthly for Make.com just to run all the automations that you want. So even if you went with the low end over here with 40,000 credits, it still costs you $34 every single month, which can add up fast. You know, like you don't want to be triggering this automation and running the automation in the background if there's nothing relevant to be looked at. So that's why we're going to create this change over here and make sure that you are getting the absolute best result, the most efficient result with the inputs that we have. And how do we do that? Well, we get rid of this type of trigger in our automations and we replace it with another type of trigger that looks like this. Let's take a look at webhooks over here. We can see that we have custom webhooks, webhooks response, and custom mail hooks. Now, as you guys can see on this purple thing over here that says instant, this is triggered instantly when we receive an email from a specific sender or however we set it up in Gmail. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is show you the process of setting this up live because I've been meaning to do it with this account and I haven't done it yet. So let's work through the process of setting up a mail hook in Make.com and you guys can follow along and do this the same way that I'm doing over here with your workflows. Now, as you guys might have noticed, this video is also in a playlist on my channel, which talks a lot about Gmail and managing email with AI. So this is a really important step if you want to do this efficiently. And I wanted to include this earlier on in the videos because in the long term, doing this in the beginning will actually yield you a lot better results in ROI. So first things first, go to a new scenario or to the scenario that you have existing with that other watch emails trigger. Replace the watch emails trigger with a custom Mailhook, which will be the one that we clicked on, and click on create a webhook. Now here, I'm going to rename it real quick. I'm going to call this leads webhook or leads Mailhook because I will filter it in a specific way later down the line. I only want this Mailhook or this webhook to be triggered when I receive an email about a new lead. So we go ahead and save this and we will see that we have this address. We're going to click on copy to clipboard and we're going to go over to Gmail. In Gmail, once we log in, we want to go over to settings and click on see all settings. And here we are going to look at these labels at the top and find the forwarding and POP-IMAP. And on the forwarding side, we're going to add a forwarding address. Now, when we add this forwarding address, we're going to paste that exact address that we just copied from Make.com. From here, we're going to click on next. We're going to probably have a verification step over here. So there we go. It's going to ask us to verify, and I'm going to use my phone over here just really quickly. And then once we click on the number that's popping up on the screen, it's going to ask forward mail to this address that's popping up. We're going to click on proceed. And by the way, this webhook that I'm creating right now, I'm going to delete right after the video. So no meaning in copying this. Okay, so this is step one of actually setting up the forwarding address, but we do need to verify the address that we just set up. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go back to make.com, and in here we are going to turn on the automation and we're going to click on run once. Now, once we click on run once, we go back to Google, to Gmail, and we're going to resend the email, and we're going to see a confirmation email has been sent to that email address. So when we go back to make, we'll see the email address sent over here. We click on text to see what's going on. And here we will see this link. Now this link is important. We got to copy and paste it in an actual tab because here is where we're going to verify our information. So this is just saying, please confirm forwarding the emails from this address to this address. So we're going to click on confirm, and that will allow us, or it will pretty much give the permissions to Google to forward the address or to forward the emails to this address. And then what will change in our Gmail is that it will kind of look like this right now, which is a little bit different than what it looked like before. The idea of setting up forwarding for Gmail is if you have a personal account and a company account and you want your emails to be forwarded from one to the other, is that you can set this up and be able to look at one inbox only instead of multiple inboxes. But here we're creating this for automation purposes. So we're going to go ahead and create a filter. We'll see the creating a filter here, and we can just click on that. Now, I want this automation to be triggered when I receive emails from myself with the subject line, new potential lead, because I have another automation that has this workflow set up. Now, if I click on create filter, you will see that I can select the forwarded to, and here we can select the exact one that we set up. And this is the address that we selected with Make. And I'm also going to apply a label. I have another video talking about labels, which is a very important step if you want AI to fully manage your inbox for you. So just go ahead and watch that video by clicking over here or over here. I never know, like I said. And you can see all of the information that we have about labels as well. Cool. So now we're going to click on create filter, and that means that all the emails that we receive from now on that are sent by myself with the head or with the subject line new potential lead are going to be forwarded to that specific email address, which will trigger this custom mail hook. So just to test it out, I'm going to send this email here with the subject line that we selected, new potential lead, and just a random email body over here saying Matt is a new lead, and I'm going to send. And over here, we're going to click on run once and see if the webhook will pick up on this in the background. There we go. As you can see, it worked, and we have all of the information that we would have from a specific Gmail module, including the date, the subject line, the text, the HTML text, sender, recipients, and everything that you might need. All of the attachments. Obviously, in this one, we had nothing, but this is all of the pieces of information that you would get with a given Watch Emails module. The only difference is now, instead of running it every single minute and running it 42,000 times a month, you actually only run it when you receive a relevant email for that specific workflow. So with that being said, make sure that you take a look at all of the scenarios that you have set up with the watch emails trigger. Honestly, if you don't really care about how much you're spending with Make.com, this is just a way of keeping it very efficient. If you do care about how much you're spending with Make.com, this is a really good way of decreasing the amount of times that your automations are going to run on a given month and actually stay within the boundaries of the account that you have. And to be honest, the main problem of going over your account limit for runs and operations is that all of your other automations turn off unless you have the options of keeping it on over here, the options of repurchasing credits on here. I don't like to keep it on because I rarely actually go over the number of credits that I have on a given month, but everything just comes down to how much you're willing to spend with Make.com and how much you want to get out of it. This is the most efficient way of going ahead with Gmail automations, and I'll definitely recommend that you keep an eye out for this. But if you're still not sure if you're picking the right projects that actually yield the best results for your business, like I said before, I do free AI audits where we identify all of the potential areas that you could be implementing AI and find the most high leverage point of implementing AI in your business completely for free. So if you want me to do an AI audit for your business, just go ahead and book a free call on the first link on the description down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.